Yes, I am. So, screen should be being shared here pretty soon, I hope. So I'm Javier Salinas. I head up security and threat research here at BlackPoint, and I'll be showing off the actual product user interface, and I'll do a little short demo, popping some alerts, doing some tradecraft and things, and seeing how Avira and Snap work together to provide a nice solution. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. I'll get started.
Yep, so we can see it, so it's looking good.
Okay, great. So starting up Snap, we'll start going into the network view. This is kind of the bread and butter of everything here. This is where we take the rolling 36-hour data that Lance was talking about earlier that we collected, and we take all that and it gets put into here, and network information gets drawn up, so we can see nice inference where all our machines are located. We can have a nice list on this side. We got drop down of data to apply, so I could just drop it down to my Windows only machines. So this is a nice big data features. This is like passive features that Snap does with the data that it gets in, because it's getting in data right now at every hour from all these endpoints. So this is where it goes, and this is where it's searchable. So this is kind of like the passive things that Snap does right now. We'll also can collect on Cisco network devices. So it's another passive thing that we can do. And this really puts the map together, because once you start getting network information in here, it really starts drawing it nicely. And as you can see, we roll it all up, and you can expand it all out to look at everything if you need. So that's kind of a quick overview of the mapping part of it. So I'm going to move on into the actual package thing. So how does this data actually get in here? It's probably a good question. So we use a method of packages. We got a Windows domain package, so that's how we deploy our agent in memory, utilizing the Windows infrastructure one already has. So this was great technology, and we found out that why don't we utilize this to actually deploy other products? So that's where the Avira package comes in here, and I'll just show off a little bit about it. So you can actually put your installer here, name your target. So if you don't want to install to all your network, same with the Windows package, you can actually specify an IP range that you want to deploy to. So you can only deploy to certain ones, or just individual computers, or have a nice scheduled rollout. So that gives you a nice feature to do that. And then you can type your license key in here, and this will auto deploy Avira to all the end hosts that you have specified in the target. So this is our deployment method for Avira. So this gets it all out and going, installs all for it, does all the hard work on the back end, leveraging our technology that we've already built for everything. And then we have network collection also. And all it really needs is a read-only network type account. It'll go in, it'll log in pretty much. To make it layman terms, there's a lot of cool technology, but in layman terms, it logs in, grabs the data it needs, and then recreates it in our map. So that's kind of how the data gets into Snap. So we have the Windows in-memory sensor, schedules every hour, sends data back to Snap, which sends it to this nice network view. We have network collection at an interval to go out and collect the data and bring it back in. So that's kind of how all the data gets into this part right here. So I'm going to actually move on and start showing off some of the active features of Snap, or more, tradecraft alert type stuff. And I'm actually going to run some malware, show some alerts, and we'll kind of triage just a little quick, simple triaging, how one could use Snap. So let me get onto my Windows machine here so I can actually launch some malware. Don't worry, this guy's not an actual person. This is our lab. not trying to infect someone. So I have some malware here that I wrote. So we're gonna go ahead and run that. So this is kind of simulating an unseen type attack, an advanced threat, the malware that's never been seen before. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that. I infected this computer. I don't need it anymore, because that's gonna be represented here on my right-hand side. So we can see I got a connection back. This is my command and control server, to where I can give interactions to this infected computer that I infected with my malware I made. So we'll go ahead and connect to that. Now, Snap, nothing's happened to Snap now, because nothing's been detected. I haven't really done anything, just launched an unknown malware. So now I have to actually do a little bit of action. So I have a nice script, because it's always nice to automate, which will actually do reconnaissance on our lab network here, and spit me back information that's really helpful into me wanting to maybe laterally spread or download some more advanced viruses on this. And we'll kind of backtrack it through with snaps alerts here. So now we see we got a share failure. I know that's just part of my script, but it's kind of odd. So this is all the data we collect that we show you on an alert. So we have attack source, IPs. We even have down to the username, what they tried to mount. Now these C $ shares are administrative shares. Usually administrators only interact with this. We do a lot of our products based around administrative activity, whether it's privileged insider or unwanted outsider. So we can see that they failed to mount this, which is kind of odd because that is our domain controller. So why did S. Kirkwood, non-admin, try to mount a administrative privilege share on our domain controller? Kind of fishy. And you can see that here if we go back to my tool, how I tried to see if I had admin access on this computer by trying to access that domain controller. So I tried to see if I had good administrative access. Did not work. So I don't know about that. And then we have, towards the end of my script here, I do a little bit of port scanning, and you can see the network sensor tipped me and said, hey, this machine's trying to connect to this DC or this WAN router here. Again, not normal for this machine, not normal for this user. Getting a lot of quick information here up front. So I can kind of show how just simple port scan, simple just poking around, not actually doing anything bad, starts tipping off this system. And we can go into more of a, it's time to start the hunt. We can start really getting into looking at the processes running and all the hashes. We don't do that now. But if I looked at this quick and I see this odd PDF.exe, I would instantly want to take action. But for the sake of this demo, we're going to move on and do a little bit else. So my recon script ran nice. I got a little noisy with snap. I probably got myself caught realistically. But for the sake of the demo, we'll move on. So we are going to now try to laterally spread into one of these computers. So I'm just going to pick this one. It doesn't matter. My scanning found it to be open for remote desktop, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we're not going to be sneaky at all here. I'm going to launch the malware called malware.exe. Make it easy to see in the demo right now. So we'll just call it malware.exe. So what that did is that actually laterally spread my malware from this computer to this IP address that I scanned earlier. And if we look in Snap, we got instant remote execution alert saying that this S. Kirkwood user remotely executed malware.exe on this machine next door. So now it's red flags, going crazy. This is not good. This is not good. But again, for the sake of the demo, we'll move on. So this is more of a sense of kind of utilizing Windows tools and the unknown malware to kind of move around and see all the privileged activity that they do on a basis. Like Lance said earlier, a lot of attacks, they live in the network for 160 plus days, doing exactly what I'm doing here, just poking around. So we'll get on that. We're going to actually now, so laterally spread. I have two machines infected now. As we can see, they match up here with our nice red alerts. So I'm going to connect to the new one. Both have Avira on it. I'm actually going to download some ransomware that I found the other day, and I'm just going to launch it. And I know Avira will catch it. I hope they'll catch it. Otherwise, I'm redoing the lab. So we will. We're going to say we got this machine. We couldn't get any further. We figured out that hey, this machine wasn't where I wanted it to be, or I have no more privileged access, and I just want to ransomware it and get out, try to cash out really quick here. So what I did there is I just tried to download and launch some ransomware through the command line. I got an error, thank God, on this end. But if we go down to our alert list here, we can see a Avira alert. We can see that this Win10 Roses computer, which is where I'm on right now, someone tried to launch ransomware from the directory ransomware. Probably not good. Probably not good. So we can see Avira now detected that, and then we can actually enrich these Avira alerts with the machine's IP address, users logged in. You can instantly click to go to this and look even deeper. So look at the processes. You can make sure that ransomware.exe is not running. Thank God it's not running. Just powerful, quick data that you can get from these alerts. So we have seen I feel like I've seen everything I need to see here, and so I am going to go back into these because we know these two machines are part of these attacks. We're done with it. Now it's time to respond. So I'm actually going to hit detain both. So I want to detain both these machines. They should not be on the network right now. And by detain, what we do is we just turn the network interfaces off so these can't communicate anymore with myself here on my hacker tools. If I try to just list stuff, it's not going to really work anymore. So they've both been detained. So that's kind of the response option you get from Snap. So now we can quarantine those computers, go get them, reimage them, do what the security protocols that you have need. And you don't got to look in this the alert. So we can kind of go back into a full alert page here and look into the kind of story that just happened here. Through share layers, through a machine trying to connect to one of the routers here. We've had privileged logons, remote execution. So you get a good picture of the timeline of the attack here. And then finally we come back to the VR alert that we had with the ransomware. So another thing I like to show off is reporting. So we look into security events here. This gives you a nice, you can do it by scheduled time, but you can get a good little summary on security events per hour that you've had. You can even go down to the machines that were involved. So we've had these machines involved in this timeline with some type of AV events. And so we don't have any USB stuff in here right now. It's just our lab. But it's just gives you a nice overview of what's going on. Maybe there's a spike at a certain time, or you can start figuring things out. Puts the picture together a little better. So that's kind of a quick demo on how Snap and Avira can work hand in hand together, and gives these nice, threat hunting, these really advanced type of procedures to an SMB market or anyone pretty much. I wish I had these tools when I was first starting out. To be able to cut a lot of time doing stuff I didn't like to do. So, yep, that's it. So I'll hand it back over to Lance. And any questions?
Thank you, Javier. Michael, I do see a couple questions that have come in. So I'll address those very quickly. Is a specific device needed to get all the information? So there's no hardware required, if that's your question. The only thing required, so you have to install two virtual images. We support a number of different virtual machining formats. You install the network interaction server, which is the brains, if you will. It's the appliance or the virtual. It's software that coordinates the installation of everything on the network, including the Avira software. And then there's the second virtual machine that needs to be installed, which is a user interface. That can be installed on-premise or in the cloud, as I mentioned earlier. So no hardware is required.